Hello and welcome to another episode of me sharing my love of crafting here on YouTube. My name is Elo, my channel is called aKnittersSoul and I'm coming to you from Oslo, Norway. If you are a new viewer, this is where I share my crafting madness, and mostly that's knitting. But I do have a crochet object as well today, a crochet project. So if that is something you enjoy, welcome. Please do stay, and if you're happy with what you've seen at the end of the episode, don't hesitate to hitting that subscribe button and notification bell, as you will be notified then as soon as I upload next video. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's always lovely to have you here spending time with me. So yeah, it's been almost a month, or pretty much a month, since I podcasted last, so I felt it was about time to upload another video. I do have quite a lot to share today. I've been knitting manically, I would almost say. So yeah, loads to share. As per usual, I will link all patterns down below, yarn shops that I mention. Yeah, pretty much everything that I mention that is something you can look up, I will try to link below. If I do miss out on something, do not hesitate on reaching out and asking me, where do I find this or that? On social media, I'm mostly active, barely active, but mostly active on Instagram as aKnittersSoul, and the same on Ravelry, aKnittersSoul. I'm not very active on Facebook, and I do keep it for mostly friends that I've met in real life. But I'm super not active there at all, so you're not missing out on anything if you do not have me as a Facebook friend, to be quite honest. Is there anything else? The winner of this little pouch hasn't yet to reach out to me. I will post your name on the screen because I don't remember it by heart. But if you see this, reach out to me either on Instagram or Ravelry, and I will send it your way as soon as possible. And just to remind, it's this pouch, and within this pouch there is also a set of stitch markers and a knitting fish. So yeah, reach out to me and I will send it to you as soon as possible. And this was made by a maker. Smykker og Strikk. Reach out to me and I will send this your way. Oh yeah, I have noted and made a note there. I guess it's a Tracy or something, but the handle is TRACETK. Anyway, I would have had the name on the screen by now, I'm sure. So yeah, let's get into it. What am I wearing today? You might ask. It's my sarong. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Super happy. It is a wonderful pattern by Woolen Pine. It's not a new pattern by any means, but I have been super late to the party of knitting one for myself, and that was really only due to the fact that I could not decide on a color for this sweater. I've seen many beautiful versions, but yeah, it was first when I kind of started thinking about this yarn that I really, well, that's not the way you say it. It just kind of all fell in place when I kind of thought of this yarn and this pattern together. I thought that would be a beautiful match. And the yarn in question is it's two strands of yarn, of which one of them is this sock yarn by Garnhaugen. Sorry, my fingers are a little bit clumsy today, it seems like. Garnhaugen. Oh, I'm getting a little bit unfortunate light, it is what I'm trying to say. And the colorway is called Holmfoss. Oh, focus. And I do actually have some left over. It's about 16 grams, I think it was. If you watched my last episode, you know that I was kind of like worried about if I was gonna have enough yarn. I did have enough yarn, and I actually do have a little bit left over. And the second strand of yarn that I've had in there is Kid Silk by Drops, and it's their colorway 21. I think it's called Cobalt Blue, but I might be wrong. But I just thought it was a beautiful match. These two colors these two colors together. And yeah, I'm super happy with the way it turned out. I mean, it's so pretty. I would have put in some footage by now, I'm sure, just to show you it in the bright daylight. And it was actually funny when I was recording myself outside here. I realized that this kind of, with the weather today, this color just melted together with the sky, so you have to be sure to have not a sky in the background, so to say. I said to you last time that I was worried I was not gonna have enough yarn from what's been told kind of in the pattern of what you need to have in order to make it. What I did not pay attention to, or had not kind of clocked, was that there are two lengths for for every size. There's two lengths, so either you do this sort of a cropped version or a longer version. And with the I opted for the cropped version because that is what I've been using mostly, because of the type of oh my god, the fashion that we have, you know, high-waisted jeans and stuff, and I do like when it hits at a certain point on my hip. That was the cropped version kind of length, and due to that I did have enough. So yeah, super happy with that. And I do have to say, there were two people reaching out to me offering their skein of yarn. Or actually, one of them was full skein of yarn, the other one had just little nuggets like this. But one of them, when I looked at her Ravelry page and the way the skein looked, it was it had a lot more green in it, and also black in there, which would have been very different from what I have. And also by that time I thought I'll give it a try and see if I can work it out. And also because I'm adding the mohair, I was thinking I should be able to make it work with those two balls of yarn from Drops that are cornflower blue, I think it was called, which I showed you last time. I just didn't want to add a whole skein of yarn in order to maybe finish up a sleeve or something. I thought it would be just better to knit everything in that other yarn. It would have been close enough, I thought. But yeah, I made it actually without adding any other yarn to the knitting. I'm super happy with it. I mean, I absolutely love and adore this colorway. Focus there. It's so pretty. I like that it's not a solid color, that there is some variation to it. I love those little specks of green in it. I think it's a very pretty yarn. There's just so much happening in there, and at the same time there's not a lot happening, so it's not a like very crazy yarn, but it's not either a very bland kind of one-dimension yarn. So absolutely love this project. I could definitely see myself making more in the future, because I did enjoy knitting it. The body is like on the right side you have the purl bumps, but you turn your work so you work more knitted stitches than you do with purl stitches. So if you do not enjoy purling much, then you just know that you are advised or like asked to turn your work in the pattern, so you don't purl. The only purling you do really is in this bit, because this you work on the right side, and the body you work on the wrong side. So yeah, that's my sorrel. Super happy with it. Super happy. Did I say super happy? Yeah, I'm super happy with it. So yeah, that was my first finished object that I had to share with you. I'm just thinking, I think I'll go with these socks. I showed them to you last time. I had, I think, about 1.5 socks by the time. Last time, I mean. Now I have 2. Very happy with them. Really enjoyed the yarn. I have used the pattern Vandring by Maja Karlsson as sort of a guideline. I have used the ribbing underneath the foot, as she kind of says, and I do have those ergonomic toes that I was talking about, so you have like a right and a left foot. And then I did the shadow wrap heel, which is my kind of a go-to heel when it comes to this type of heel, as I find it gives me more depth to my instep than a regular German short row heel does. And I don't have a crazy high instep, but I find that with a regular German short row heel, that's a little too tight. So I really like doing this type of heel when I am just putting in a heel. Oh yeah, this type of heel. I did have a question of the types of heels that I use, and yeah, as I just said, my go-to in this type of heel is a shadow wrap heel. There's a lot of great tutorials on YouTube if you want to try it out. And otherwise it's a heel flap gusset type of socks, as I find it's really pretty and I like the structure of it and I like the fit of it. Did I do it there? No, I was gonna see if the next sock that I have had that, but no. So those are the 2 types of heels I like to use. I don't have the ball band for the yarn, so if you're interested in the yarn I use, I think it's PT5 by Rauma. But if you want to know more exactly, I do have everything on my Ravelry page, so check it out if you're interested. So yeah, they're done. So super happy. Is there anything else to say about them? Yeah, it's this pattern is a toe up pattern. I think, yeah, no, there's not much more to it. So yeah, I just as usual I do the Italian bind off, as I find it's both pretty and stretchy. Yeah, those are done. And I guess we can carry on to next pair of socks, since we are on the sock here. My words are missing today. This you have not seen before. I don't think I've even shown in the yarn. It's a yarn I purchased not long ago, maybe about 2 months ago, something like that. I just fell in love with the beautiful kind of autumny fade. that the yarn has. The yarn is, let me find the right band here, it's Mille Colori by Long Yarns. And there's the colorway there. Oh, focus. I'm getting shadows today. I bought 2 of these because, yeah, like I said, I really liked the fade that it had the way it was displayed in the shop. I thought it was just so beautiful. And I tried to look for 2 bowls that are quite similar because I wanted the socks to match. Not that it's a huge deal or that's really necessary, but I wanted them to match, and I thought, I'll just knit several of them. But yeah, I wanted them to match more or less, and they kind of do. You do see there's a little maybe difference of where the change comes, but not by a lot. It's maybe a row or 2, something that's there off. Yeah, again, shadow appeal, and like the glitter is so crazy as it seems in the as it seems on the screen, but I love it. Is there anything else to say? Yeah, just the regular 64 stitches. This one is top down, Italian cast on, shadow appeal, just your regular Smykker toe, no ergonomical things going on there, just a very regular toe. Very pretty yarn, and I do have more of Mille Colori yarns, not with a long fade, but more like stripy ones, and I'm looking forward to casting them on as well, because I still do have plans of trying to make as many socks as I can this year. And this is not in chronological order by any means, but I'm gonna transition from this to a crochet finished object, and I'll do a little bit of a pulling there, because while I was knitting these socks, I felt more and more I wanted to crochet a particular shawl. I did mention that shawl just briefly, I think last time as well, when I was like thinking like that I wanted to crochet a shawl. And back in my last episode I showed you my virus shawl, but this shawl here was like a strong contender, and I wanted to knit it. And it's this shawl here. It's called Höstfägring or Autumn Garden, and this was a knit along, was it in 2018? Not sure, it's a while back. It is a free pattern from Järbo, so if you get inspired and want to crochet it, then that's where you will find it. They do have it in, at least in Norwegian, Swedish, English, maybe Finnish, I'm not sure, but just check it out. Quite sure about those 3 languages. I have crocheted once before, as it was a crochet along, and I'll just quickly show you my previous one. This is one of my most worn shawls. I both love the yarn. This yarn is by Pickles. I think it was a tweed merino, and another one, I'm not 100% sure. I have the information on my Ravelry page if you wanna look it up. But yeah, I mean I have loved this shawl. Ooh. Both for the shape of it, I loved making it. I like the yarn. It goes very nicely with a winter coat that I have. So I guess that's one of the reasons why I've used it a lot. But yeah, I wanted to make another one because I did consider it already a month ago when I started another one. So going from the socks and into this one, and I think it's so perfect match, this yarn and this shawl, and it's really hard to show because it's so big. It looks a little bit more bright on screen. I find it's it's a little bit more muted in real life than it is on screen, I must say. It has these beautiful autumn colors, and it's just perfect, you know. It's an autumn garden shawl with autumn colors. So yeah, as soon as I finished the socks, I did start working on this one. And I think when I was about here, I started kind of fearing I would run out of yarn, which I did. So in the end, I actually ended up on adding a little bit of, no, this one doesn't really show. It's another yarn by Garnhaugen. It's my, yeah, it's my fairy, no, Alvedronningens kjole, fairy mother's dress. This is what I made my sand waves of, because I had a little bit like these little minis left over from my sand waves, and I thought that this goes quite nicely with the color scheme of like with the yellows and oranges and the dark red and the brown, and yeah. And this is a super addictive, super fun crochet shawl. I crocheted it in 2 days. I just could not put it down. It was so much fun. So I used actually the socks, they weighed 55 grams. So this is like 145 grams of mille colori, and then this tiny little snippet of Garnhaugen's yarn in the tip of it. So if you have, I mean, of course it depends on your tension, on the size of your hook you're using. I think I used a 3.5 millimeters on this one, which I'm not sure what it is in like US size. The leathering, I don't know for the hooks, but absolutely love it. I will like come close to you once and show you all the bits while I'm quiet behind the screen. So yeah, I feel like it's like I never get bored with this shawl, because there's like yes, there's repetition, but there's some small variations going on all the time. So I never got bored of it. I never felt like, oh, when will this end? I just felt like it flew off my hook. It was super fun. This is most probably gonna be a gift, because even though I love the colors, I'm not huge like on autumn colors. In like, I can have them one by one, but not so much as like this. But I think it's just beautiful. I might change my mind, you know. I might keep it as well, but I think it's just so beautiful. The colors are beautiful. They don't show off as good on screen, unfortunately, as they are in real life, but I can absolutely recommend this beautiful pattern. So much fun. Can't remember the maker of or the designer. I will put it on screen, or it has probably been on screen by now. So yeah, that is my fourth finished object, and a crochet one. And I can absolutely see myself making more of these in the future. This is actually my fourth, because yeah, I made the blue one as I showed you before. That was my first one, and then I made 2 more, and those were from actually Drops Alpaca and Drops Fabel with a mohair. Those like one out of Drops Alpaca, and then one with Drops Fabel with a mohair, strand of mohair. I loved those ones as well. Those were gifts. So like, I had specific people in my mind when I made those, and they're perfect, because if you have maybe like an odd 1.5 skeins somewhere laying around, that should be enough. So yeah, super happy with that. Trying to think, am I forgetting something? I feel I'm kind of rushing a little bit here. I'll quickly show you this one. I showed this one to you last time. This is the dishcloth I was working on. It's finished now. It's washed. It's blocked. I'm not gonna talk much about it as I did talk about it a bit more last time. This is made out of drop saffron. Super easy, very okay project to bring with you when you don't wanna think a lot, but yeah, need something to keep your fingers busy. I went to a new shop for me, which is called Garnkontoret here in Oslo. This yarn shop is started by the designer Kristin Viola Ødegård, and I wanted to check it out just to, see what it was about, what she had in there. Also because I wanted to go there and look for a book that she does not sell in stores. You can buy it from her shop, or like on her online shop, or from that shop. And I thought I wanted to have a look in that book before maybe purchasing it. So I took a trip out there, and I did buy the book. I'm gonna come back to that later on. But when I was there, we started talking about yarns, and somehow she remembered me because I have done some test knitting for her before, and I've spoken to her in another instance before, and she remembered me. And we came into the topic of intolerance of alpaca, and that I was kind of sorry that I couldn't use yarns that are like blow yarns, because often the blow yarns have alpaca in them, and they are beautiful and soft and lovely, but I cannot use them, unfortunately. So she did say that there is an alternative that she is selling, which is a yarn called Concept, and it's a cotton merino blend. It is 70% cotton and 30% virgin wool. It's I need my glasses here. It is 50 to 105 meters, 50 grams, 105 meters. So it's like pretty close to Drops Air or from Garn Studio or Kos from Sandnes. Ever so slightly thicker, but yeah, without any alpaca in there. So I bought one ball of yarn just to check it out, and then I got home and I thought like, okay, let's make a hat, and this is it. As you might pick up, maybe not sure, it has a little bit of glitter in here. My episode is probably gonna be called like Shine Bright Like a Diamond or something, because there is so much glitter in my projects these days that everything is more or less glittery. But this yarn by itself, this is what I have left of it. It's just like a little, like 50 centimeters or such. It does not have any glitter in it. I'll try to, yeah. It has a nice halo to it, which is really nice. It kind of mimics those blow yarns that I do really enjoy and love and wanted to work with, but I can't. But I paired that yarn with a strand of kid silk drops in this new colorway. This, I think, is aquamarine or something is called, number 58. And also I had some Kremke Soul Wool Stellaris in my stash, and I added that as well. It's in silver, and those three together gave this really soft and really lovely fabric. And you might wonder, like, why would I match this bright yarn with this dark kind of jean color? It's really when I was in the store trying to match a mohair to it. I was first, my initial thought was find something that's kind of like denim color as well. But I didn't like the denim colors that they had in that shop that I went to, and I did kind of think that it would be nice to pick up the kind of the lighter part of this yarn, and I think it worked out just fine. I think the fabric came out beautiful. There's no pattern. I just did it top down to make sure that, you know, I had enough yarn, in the sense that, you know, I'd be able to. It's easy to go top down than going upwards, I find, because it's easier to calculate of how much yarn you need for the cast off round. And I once again did my Italian sewn bind off, as that is kind of my go-to. I think I'm probably not gonna put it on my head. Or should I? Okay, I'll do it. Mess up my hair for sure. I usually, you know, I like to have slouchy hats like that, because I like to have, and then I like to have hair sticking out, because I find that style suits me the best, or at least that's what I'm mostly comfortable with. But yeah, I do prefer having some hair sticking out, and I don't have any there because everything is in the ponytail. But yeah, super happy with it. If you struggle with alpaca allergies, but you do want to work with blow yarn, actually can recommend. It's a little bit more dead yarn than the other blow yarns, but absolutely something I could recommend. I could see myself making a sweater out of it. But yeah, just having a sternum mohair made it softer and more kind of lively, and I enjoyed that a lot more than I did to start off with. So yeah, last time I left you off with my plans of going to a knit event that was called Stitchorama, and initially I was going only there, as that is mostly about or for knitters, mostly yarn related vendors. I think there was one or two maybe sewing related ones, or embroidery. Maybe more, but it was mostly knitting vendors. And like I said, my initial plan was going only there, even though there was another event happening in the same town called Fabric. But I did end up going to the Fabric as well, because the two friends I was traveling with, they, at least one of them, wanted to go there. And I also looked up the vendors for that event, and I found that one of the vendors I really wanted to go to was only there, because I did see that a couple of the vendors that were at Stitchorama, they were also at the Fabric, so they were in both places, but this particular one I wanted to see, she was only at Fabric. And the reason why I'm telling you is that I wanted to go there and buy a very particular scarf pattern, which is this one there. Ooh. It is the Hope Scarf or Hope Scarf. Is that what it is? Yeah, I will write it down below. This is a design by Strikk, or also known as Elisabeth Gigernes. She is the creative mind behind the shop that is called Strikk. She's the one that dyes the yarns and yeah, sells the yarns and designs, so to say. I wanted to have that scarf, and what's very special with this scarf is that in the month of September and October, all of the proceedings that are from selling this scarf, they go directly to the cancer fund. I was gonna say the research for breast cancer, like trying to say things that are Norwegian in English. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, all of the proceedings from Hope Scarf, they go to the research of breast cancer, as October is the month of breast cancer awareness. And when I went to her shop, I already had actually planned out a particular skein of yarn that I wanted to use for it. As I mentioned to you last time, I had ordered a spool of glitter that I managed to drop on the ground and wasn't able to show to you last time. that spool is this golden thread here. So I did end up using it as planned, and again, glitter, glitter. And I had this yarn which I had received from a special friend. It's called Marnie's. It is a 100% merino. It's finger and weight. It's non-superwash. This is a yarn I have not knitted with before, so it was interesting to try it out. And the yarn is this kind of a light yellow. It looks more bright than it is. It's more of a corn color than it is. It's not as bright as it is. It's more of a, yeah. And I also ended up adding a I was gonna say, yeah, well, thread, a strand of kit silk drops in the colorway of curry. So it's a little bit, yeah, the colors are not doing it justice. Well, maybe more. It's a bit darker because I wanted to darken this color a little bit, at least for my complexion. That is kind of better, a little bit deeper yellow than like a very light yellow. And yeah, and also with the thread of gold. And oh, I'll put them aside there. So I did knit a warp scarf in these 3 colors, and it's not, if I do a bit of a shadow, maybe you get this. It's more like the color looks like in the shadow. It's not as bright as it looks when it gets the direct light on it, and the light from the window is definitely not helping. But this is a beautiful shawl, and it has tassels. Well, not shawl, it's a scarf. It has tassels. It's a brilliant construction. It's kind of the same as a lot of the scarves these days are, that you start quite narrow, work to the midpoint, and then you increase till you get the midpoint, and then you decrease, so you get sort of like this long scarf that has more pointy tips. Not easy to show, but it has this super pretty, very simple, very intuitive pattern going through it, and I think it turned out really pretty, really cute. Have not decided if I'm gonna keep it myself or maybe I'll give it away as a gift. I think it's so pretty. I mean, it had to have tassels, there's no question about it. But I didn't make only one, I have made 2. And the second color that I made it in is quite special, because when I was in Elisabeth's stand at Fabrik, I was eyeing a couple of yarns there, and I really liked, I really like the base, that's BFL, Blue Face Leicester. I like the wooliness of that yarn. It's a yarn that's not very common here in Norway, I would say. Most of the hand dyers that you encounter here have merino bases, which is fine, but I just prefer more of a woolly wool kind of feel, and I feel that that's something I get with BFL. So those times when I find it, that's usually what I kind of try to buy if it's possible. But anyway, I was kind of looking at a yarn, and then she came with, well, what about this and what about that? And I was like, yes, definitely, I have to have that, because look at this color. And yes, it has tassels. Oh, where's the other one? Sorry. It has tassels, because it has to have tassels. And it also has glitter. You can, yeah, I think you can tell if I can kind of, if I'm seeing things correctly on screen. So I will tell you in a minute. I will tell you in a minute what the yarns are. And I have like a box with all the yarns from all the different projects next to me. That's where I'm reaching to. So the yarn that I have knitted this in is, it's 2 strands. Both are from Strikk. The first one is Silver Sock, and yes, it has glitter, and it's kind of been blown out. The light is really not with me today, but it is this beautiful, I think somebody called it like a raspberry red, and I guess it's quite correct way of describing it. It's a beautiful yarn. It's also very soft, really lovely yarn. Actually, like one of the more softer sock yarns that I've encountered in a while, I must say. Really lovely. Definitely yarn or like yarn based I would love to knit more with. But yeah, all that to say, this is as mentioned Strikk, and this one is her Silver Sock base, and the colorway is Love Actually, and I think it's such a fitting name to this colorway because this is like Love Actually, beautiful red. And the second strand is the mohair in the same colorway, which is this blend of 64% fine kit mohair with 36% silk. It's 50 grams to 420 meters, so it's like a perfect match to her Silver Sock. So 1 skein of each. I did try to use up as much as I could, but also keep it at a length which I thought was quite practical, is the word I'm looking for. It is quite long. I have blocked it ever so slightly, not a lot, and I did make quite huge tassels because I wanted to have like, I don't know, it just made me happy having those tassels there. When I saw the pattern and saw the tassels, there was never a doubt in my mind that I was gonna have tassels as well. So yeah, the only thing about this pattern per today is that until the end of October, this pattern is available only on her webpage. But you can get a hold of like a digital copy from her page already. But yeah, just not on Ravelry. So if you don't mind that, then check it out and support a good cause. And also a wonderful designer. So that was my hope scarf or hope scarf. Loving it. Now I can start wearing it, which is good. But like, this one is definitely for me, and this is probably gonna have to wait until closer to like Christmas time, at least when snow has kind of hit the ground, and it has not yet here in Oslo. But I've heard reports from further up north that there is already snow. I'm good with it not being snow yet here in Oslo. So that was my hope scarf. That's not all my scarves. I do have one more scarf to show you. Not scarf, shawl. I do have another finished shawl to show you, and this came about because I went to a knit night in Kvelde at the yarn shop Garnhaugen, and I was super inspired by several people, but 2 in particular made me pick up my needles and a couple of patterns quicker than I maybe had planned for. One of them was Anita. Always mix up her name, sorry. I think it's Anita. Anyhow, sorry. She had in her bag the cutest Close to You shawl by Justina Larkowska. Sorry, I just have a black and white printout. This is a shawl, I think it's a free pattern by the way, on Ravelry. This is a shawl I've been wanting to make for a very long time. It caught my eye many years ago. I think this is it at least 10 years old, this pattern? Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter. It's just something I have had on my radar for the longest of time, but I never kind of, I don't know. There's always been projects that were more fun or something that kind of caught my eye even more, but it's never left my mind. But after her seeing hers, and hers was in a very cute kind of like a purpley lavendery color, and yeah, it doesn't even matter what color, it just kind of spoke to me and made me want to cast on one. And this I started twice, because first I tried a yarn which I thought, this is not doing justice to the yarn, and the yarn was not doing justice to the shawl. And then I did a deep dive and found some old stash yarn and put it together with some newer stash, and this is it. This is The Close to You by Justina Larkowska. And the color is not as light as it looks. It's more of a, when I say like a ice green, because it's not even a baby, well, I guess it is kind of a baby bluish, but it has a tint of green to it. It's not as light as it's looking. Super quick knit, super easy knit, and you can like adjust it to the amount of yarn you do have available, which is always a plus when you have those like little skeins or something that you don't know what to make of, because it's not enough for something big and it's too much for something small. All of that to say that I have used deep stash. Where have I put that little thing? Excuse me for a moment. Have I lost the tag now? Well, there was really not a tag, because this is it was like old stash, but I just wanted to have a little bit cheat sheet, so I knew. There it is. Sorry about all the noises. This is a yarn by a brand called Nøstebarn. It's a merino wool 2-ply. It's light fingering. It was 100 grams to 600 meters, and this is all I have left. I do not have the tag for it. This has been in my stash for a long time. I bought a lot of these yarns, or like some of these yarns, not a lot, but some of these yarns by Nøstebarn just before my boy was born, and that is like 23 years ago now, because I was making baby garments, close to skin baby garments out of the yarn, because it's super soft. And I mixed it with a strand of silk cashmere by Pinsvin, and this is why I'm saying like it's sort of kind of like ice cream, because this colorway is called ice green. Like you just think of glaciers, you have the greenness in that ice, and I felt that these two created this beautiful, both like super soft fabric, but also the color is super pretty. It's not, like I said, it's not anymore a baby blue, and also the ice green I felt was maybe a little bit too much on the green side for my liking, but those two together created this beautiful fabric, and I just love it. And the shawl is so pretty, you know, like when you lay it around your neck. I'm not gonna tie it now, but you get the idea. You get this beautiful little detail there. I think it's so pretty. I haven't decided if there's something I'm gonna keep, if there's something I will make into a gift, so time will show. But I can recommend this pattern. Super easy. You get into that very quickly, and it's definitely a project you can bring with you anywhere. Like, you can knit on it while talking to other people. I guess I can go from, I'm looking at my cheat sheet there, I can go from that into my whips, because after knitting that little Close to You shawl, I still had, oh, I forgot to show you the skein of the yarn. I just show you the label. This is the Pinsvin cashmere, silk cashmere, that I paired with that Nøstebarn merino wool yarn. You can actually kind of tell it has a little bit of like a greenish tint to it. It's not like white, but it has a sort of a green. It's focusing on me. Greenish kind of tint to it. So I had a quite a substantial amount of this left, and I thought that I wanted to make some like a set, like make a hat with it. And first my first initial thought was to make something with cables. But then I thought, since this one has more like a lacy fabric to it, I would rather do something either just simple or lace. And then I just opted actually in the end for a Muscle Burrow by Isolde Teague. I made quite a bit of a progress on it. This is more like a grab and go type of project for me, like when I'm out and traveling, out and about. Just like today I was on the subway traveling a little bit, and then this is perfect to have with me. But I didn't have more of the Nøstebarn yarn. So what I did was that I went and purchased a skein of lamb's wool by Rauma. Where's the label? There. And it's the colorway 22, and yeah, it is 50 grams to 235 meters. It's 100% wool. And my idea is that I'm gonna run out of this yarn, and that's fine, because my plan is once I run out of this ball, I will add a ball of white yarn that I have, because I thought it's okay. Either like, I mean, I'm sure I can flip it both ways, because my plan is that, yeah, once this runs out, I will add the white. So in that way, I will get a little bit of a fade from this sort of a greenish bluish color into a more whitish bluish color. No, whitish greenish color. And once I also run out of if I run out of this, I will add like just a white mohair, and in that way use up most stash and not adding on like 2 balls of lamb's wool and then ending up maybe with a whole bunch left in my stash. Because the whole idea, I'm trying to be good and use up my stash to the best of my ability. It's not that I need to get rid of it or I don't want it there, but I just see like once my mind starts working like that I get more and more inspired. And also it's super gratifying to be able to create something out of something you already have. And this is gonna be super nice, super soft, super warm. So yeah, either I'm gonna keep it myself, either I'm gonna put it in a gift basket, because there's always somebody who needs a good warm super luscious hat, shawl. So yeah, that was my first work in progress that I'm sharing with you. Then I'm trying to think what on the topic of being inspired by that knit night, bit unsure where I was because my battery just keep on dying on me, but I was super inspired by Wenche and her version of Olga with this yarn. I don't remember what she held it with. I think it might have been Arvetta, I might be wrong, but she held it together with the strand of this, and it was just so beautiful. And I've been wanting to knit a striped sweater for quite some time, partially because it has something to do with the yarn I have in my stash, and in particular this beautiful red here. It is a skein that I have bought at one point in time from Garnhaugen. Once again, I have a whole bunch of yarn from there. It just has to do something with the colors. I like them. This one is called Rosenröd, or like rose red, which is a very is it depictive word? Is that what the word is called? It describes it very well. I just kind of like imagine, in my inner eye see kind of this really beautiful dark red roses, like a bouquet of beautiful roses. But I had only one skein. I don't know what I thought of. I guess it's just been a case of like, oh, this is pretty, I should at least have one skein, and I'll figure out something I can make out of it at a later point in time. Unfortunately, this is not a color that I have dyed up since. I don't know if they have plans of dyeing them up at a later point, but at least the last times I've been there, I have not been able to see it, and I don't think they're gonna dye it. I have a tendency of liking colors they kind of discontinue. Weird. Anyway, I wanted to knit something with stripes because I also have a yarn that's this one here, which is like a white with speckles of that same kind of a red and to a bit like a pinkish colors. I actually do have a skein here on, like you see. It's not a white, it's a creamy, I would say, like, yeah, creamy white, so leans a little bit into the yellow. And yeah, as you see, like partially there's some really dark red speckles in there, and then they go more into this sort of a pinkish color. And yeah, I've been wanting to make a striped sweater with this yarn together with that red yarn for a little while, and when I saw that Olga, I thought, oh, maybe I should do that, but I couldn't find the matching thread of mohair because that was kind of like stuck to my mind. And then I was almost buying this and that color and almost thinking about adding some other colors, and I said, like, no, calm your horses, calm down. Oh, holy horses, and calm down and breathe a little bit before you start shopping. And so I did, and I came home and I looked at the pattern, Olga, and the gauge, and like different details on it, like the way it's constructed, and I decided I would keep on looking for another pattern, because even though it's a very pretty sweater, it has nice details, I do not like when the shoulder stripe falls along, like quite a bit below your shoulder line. I like it when it's further up, or more like kind of goes naturally with your shoulder. I don't know if it makes sense, but anyway, I had another pattern that I've been eyeing for a long time. I had like saved and been going back and forth to, and that is the Seaside Tea by Cheryl Makhtari. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. And then I thought, like, I'm still lacking quite a bit of red in order to make it all the way stripy. And also, as I said to you last time, I'm not a huge fan of knitted tops for summer, like knitted t-shirts for summer. So I knew I wanted to make either a three-quarter sleeve sweater or full sweater sleeve. Full sleeve sweater. And then I would, like, with that thought in my mind, I would be missing even more red if I was gonna, because if you look at the pattern of Seaside Tea, it stripes all the way, and for some reason it did not clock in my mind that I could do stripes halfway. I don't need to do it all the way up. I know. It's strange, sometimes those ideas get stuck in your head and they just sort of block that creative vision of sorts. Anyhow, all of that to say that I thought that, well, I can have the stripes from kind of like below the boobies and under, because I didn't want it to be like mid chest kind of thing. I would like it to be further down, so like, yeah. All of that to say, ta-da! Oh my god, I'm probably gonna go look back on an editing and think like, oh my god, is it possible to talk so much about nothing, woman? But yeah, with the interruptions of battery and everything, it's just the way it is. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is what it is. I really like the construction of this. Like I said, I do not tend to like the ones. I mean, I like the look of a drop shoulder, but I don't like when the line on the back goes too far below the shoulder. This one has a very clever construction. And without like giving away anything about the pattern, because it is a paid for pattern and you do have a light version for fingering weight, and I do think there's a DK weight. And this t-shirt, but I'm gonna make it into, as I said, either full length or 3/4 length of a sleeve. It has this little detail on the shoulder, and then it goes more or less into a construction, I would say, as of a t-shirt. Oh, it's so hard to show because it blows out, but you can see there's a line going there, just like there, and that kind of creates this sleeve cap, and it sits so pretty on the body. I find it has a very nice fit to my body, and I like that. I do like round yokes. I do like your regular raglan kind of yokes, but I also like fitted sleeves or drop shoulder. I guess not fitted sleeves, drop shoulder kind of look, and this one gives you that. You work top down and you do increases, and by the time you're done with decreases, you just like, so to say, split for sleeves, and you work down straight from there, and you already have created this beautiful set-in sleeve in the same go. So at one point you do have a lot of stitches on your needles. It's quite tight and whatever, as you do have with like round yokes and raglan and everything, but it, instead of getting the raglan cut or the round yoke, you do get that beautiful kind of a t-shirt looking fit, which is really pretty. And yeah, my plan is to now stripe it all the way down and do the same for the sleeves if I have enough red to do that, or if not, then I will just do one color. Maybe I might do that anyway. I'm just like one color sleeves, but I kind of have a vision that I would at least like to finish off with a red cuff or so. So that is my idea. Very well written pattern, absolutely can recommend. I have not knitted anything by her before. No, I have not. But yeah, again, I had like this one skein of like a special yarn. I guess you could do it with a yarn treasure as well if you don't have a lot and you don't know how to utilize it. Just like have either a solid color in the background and stripes from halfway down, and then you can make this kind of last or make it into something wearable without having to add on and add on and add on. Because I am like trying to be good and use my stash, because I do have a lot of beautiful yarn, and it's just a pity to not use what I have, right? So maybe you want to join me in knitting this. I know at least a person in my kind of acquaintances, I'm like among my acquaintances. Oh my god, words are really hard. Who is knitting this, but I know that she's knitting it stripey all the way down, because it is all, yeah, I probably had the picture up, sorry. She's knitting in pink and red stripes all the way, really pretty. So if anybody else wants to join me and maybe like even add, like I said, like a skein that you've been treasuring and not knowing what to make of, and you don't want to make one of those, maybe you're not a shawl person and there's a lot of like one skein shawl patterns, but you don't want to use it for that, then maybe you can make it into a sweater. You know, come and join me, or a t-shirt or something. If there is interest for it, I will make a thread on Ravelry, but yeah, let me know if there's any interest in it. Maybe that's gonna be like an unofficial official knit along, the seaside tea. Is anybody interested? since I can't participate myself anyway, it doesn't matter if I have started on it or not. But maybe you have, or maybe you haven't and you would like to. Let me know. Actually, that would be fun. Yeah, let me know. Let me hear from you. So yeah, let me see now. That was my seaside tea. I showed you my blanket last night, the one that I've taken numbers from, the pocket full of Bose blanket from Pearl Soho. I have not done anything. I haven't knitting on that since last, because you know I've been kind of preoccupied with other things. I've been blasting through different projects, so that one hasn't received any love. But that's not either a project that I want to finish in short term. It is a long-term project, and probably gonna be knitting on it more during the colder winter nights, because it is gonna be warm and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to getting some more bright colors in it, because right now it is quite somber in colors. Oh, sorry, I did not mention the yarn, the white speckled yarn that I have in my seaside tea. It is a yarn that's hand dyed by Fosenfarger, and this is when she was not emptying, but I think she did some changes in her web shop, and that's how I kind of got to, because she was tea stashing, and that's how I kind of bought this, but can hardly tell. But yeah, this is on a Regia base that's 100 grams, 420 meters, 80% wool and 20 nylon. So it is more like a woolly wool, which I do like. Really, really love it. And my plan is that this is gonna be kind of like a summer sweater, because we do have a lot of colder evenings and it's nice to have something light. I'm gonna make it kind of be the same as my boxy, which is just easy to throw on. It does have quite a bit of positive ease, so very nice for the summer. Enough about that. I'm just double checking that I haven't forgotten something there. No. I also cast on my I'm Batty for Halloween socks by Charlotte Stone. I need to remove that. It's these ones here. I spoke about them last year, I think, around November time, and I've been wanting to make them ever since, but you know, it is, I feel, very fitting for October, these socks, so I have been waiting all the way up until now with casting them on and getting them started. Oh, it's all tangled there, and I have made a tiny little bit of progress. There they are. Oh, let's remove some strands from there. There's my baddie socks. Okay, let's just very quickly talk about the yarn. It's regular schmegular, my go-to Dropsfabel. I do like this as a sock yarn. I find it to be quite durable on my feet, at least. The colorways are 119, which is, I think, is called Electric Orange on their webpage. Oh, it's not focusing, is it? And just 400 black. Yeah, I do like Fabel socks. Those are the socks that I find have maybe worn the best out of the socks that I have, and it is kind of like a more woolly wool sock base, I find. And also I have to mention that I have my sock progress keepers there, of course. Love them. Those are by Sofakroken. And I have started the other one as well, but I'm only done with the rib in this one. I cast them on last night. No, not last night. The day before. last night. So yeah, 2 days ago. What I'm trying to say, my usual go-to is 225 for socks with fingering weight sock yarn. I find that to be a good gauge. My fingers relax, I get a good fabric, I'm happy with that. And my go-to usually is 64 stitches. I probably could do with less stitches, but I actually don't mind it being not super negative ease on my socks, actually having a little bit of like looseness and like perfect. And the way, if you remember when I did these socks, tulip something, doesn't matter. I went for the size 2, which is you cast on 64 stitches, then you increase to a set of numbers, which I think it was 72, before you start working on the color work section. And on those socks that worked out perfectly. I got really nice size on this sock, and that was perfect. In this pattern, I'm ready for Halloween. You have the same sizes. You have like 3 sizes, and I did the same. I cast on size 2, but this one goes up to 80 stitches during the color work, and I found that to be too big. So I ripped back and decided to go up a needle size. So I have gone up to 2.5 in the color work to get a little bit more positive ease in the part where I have the color work, instead of going up to 80 stitches, because 80 stitches, that was a little bit too much. And like from how far I've gotten now, it's no problem. It works out perfectly by just adding that little extra size on the needle to make it big enough. And there's quite long float, so I am doing some ladder back. Oh my god, I will write it on the screen. My mind is not not working. Ladder back stitch must be that. And I'm not super happy with it. I've done a couple changes. I'm trying out a little bit different way of picking up the stitch on the back, just to see if it's gonna be better, because I do like the technique and it's super easy. I might rip back and redo it, just to make it perfect, if I can call it that. I'll see about it. It's a really it's a very simple pattern. It works up really quick. It's easy to remember. It's there's like nothing difficult to it. So the only thing is that there's like those long floats, and I think I'm not super happy with the way it's turning out. It's nothing to do with the pattern. It's just I'm not happy with the way I've knitted it. So I might rip it back and redo it. But I'm looking forward to getting them done and getting on my feet, and hopefully in the month of October. So maybe these are gonna have to get extra love just to get them done, because it would be fun. I'm not huge on Halloween, I must say, but I think these socks are so adorable and fun, and why not? And there is several socks in that book I want to make. Also, she has released a new book, and I have placed an order, and that's gonna come in the beginning of December. So that's gonna be fun. I know there is at least one pair with some, was it with ghosts, I think it was? Am I wrong? I hope not. Anyway, looking forward to that book. And there's more, definitely more socks in this particular book that I want to knit. And the last whip that I have for today is it the last? Yes, it is. It's my summer cal. I haven't done a huge amount of progress on it, but I have knitted on it a little bit. Sorry for the noises. I'm trying to fit my basket here. I will have to clear some space because it's living in my big basket. I have all the yarns there. And this is the Summer Cal by Viola or Kristin Viola Ødegård. And this cardigan has gotten its name since, at least since I think it's had its name for a while now. It's called Jorid. And this is where I was last time, where I showed it to you, and I have now made it up to the point where I have so to say split for the sleeves. So now I have the sleeves to knit, and then I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with the yoke bit. I have some ideas brewing in my mind, some plans, nothing like concrete yet, so there's not much to share to you. Really happy with the way it's turning out. It's the yellow is not as yellow, it's more of a mustardy, darker, kind of more greenish color than it's looking on the screen now as to be. But yeah, I'm really loving the fabric, like really. I've lost the yarn there. It's trying to escape. The sleeves, this is also something I've been going back and forth on, as it is that I'm planning to do some changes on this. I did think maybe I should do something different on the sleeves as well. But I'm most probably gonna be knitting the same pattern in the sleeves and then just do some changes with the yoke, as I'm not super keen on the yoke as it is in the original pattern, but I do love this bit of it. The yarns that I'm working with, let me just quickly go through them. This one is Rauma Finullgarn. It is the colorway 0417. And then I have Rauma Finullgarn in this sort of light, let me see if I can find one with a band, light gray, and it's colorway 0404. It's like a heather color. And then the white, the natural white is Villas 100% wool. Those are the three colors I'm working with currently. But I'm starting to get an idea in my mind that I wanted to, because it's quite soft in the way it looks. It's quite soft, and I think I'm gonna want to keep it like that. I don't want like crazy bright colors, maybe a pop here and there, but I feel like even the yellow already is giving a pop. So something like that kind of pop where it's a little bit brighter and gives a little bit something, but without like overpowering the whole look of the sweater. And it's living also, like if I'm having it with me, oh, it's been crinkled now in the basket. If I'm taking it with me, then it's in this bag by Eddrung, which fits perfectly in color, and the bag is super beautiful. It's very well made. But yeah, the colors that I'm considering on adding into it are pretty much in the same color family. I might just put it there. It's these colors here. Let me see if I can hold it a bit better so I can show it. Woo! So I'm considering these three, I was gonna say yellows, these three greens in there. This is a quite bright, almost leaning into yellow kind of green. Then you have this sort of a mossy green, and then a darker olive green. And then I have these two here, which is like a light gray blue and dark gray blue, leaning kind of to maybe towards jean color, but no, it's more like a gray blue. And then kind of like a oatmeal kind of color there, which is my Villas, and the rest of them are Finull. So these are the colors I'm thinking about merging into this project one way or other, because I think they would do, well, like they would complement this project quite well. Let me see if I can. No, I can't. Probably can I? If I do like that. Oh. So yeah, this would be like the bouquet of the colors if I'm going with these. I don't think I want to add any pop of pink, red or anything in it. I think I'm gonna keep it in the color range of greens, blues, grays, and yeah, I think, but I have not 100% decided, but at least I'm getting some idea. I did consider knitting the same pattern all the way up. I was thinking about making again this set-in sleeve kind of look, but I don't think I necessarily have enough yarn to do it all the way up, because when I bought the yarns, the gray yarn in particular, I bought it according to the pattern, so whatever I was meant to have for the body and the sleeves, that's what I have. And so it's not a given that I would have it all the way up, kind of like enough for finishing it all the way up, as you could imagine. But yeah, I will simmer on that a little bit, see what I figure out, how it's gonna turn out, and what I decide upon in the end, because I think it's gonna be really, really pretty. I've seen very beautiful versions of it. I've seen people adding different kind of patterns using from her Viola's other patterns and putting, yeah, I've seen many beautiful versions, and I do want it, and I'm gonna work on it, but I'm not gonna stress with it. I'm just letting it kind of emerge slowly but surely, so that I would be 100% happy with it once it's done. But since I mentioned that, I'm just quickly gonna mention this one as well, because I'm like kind of drawing a little bit of inspiration or like from this, or was thinking about doing that with, like, when I said I was thinking about maybe changing the sleeve into a different pattern and, you know, doing something like that. But I think I have kind of omitted that idea plan, and I think I'm gonna do the sleeves in the same way as it's called for in the pattern originally. But what I've also taken from this one is that I know I like the length of the body of this one, so I have done the same for my Judith as this one, which is the Ventetid kofta, if anybody is interested, because in this pattern I think she called for the body length to be 31 centimeters, and I think this one is 33, 34. I think was something around there, and I quite like that for the length. I like the length of this one, so I'm taking that and putting that into the next cardigan. And I guess since I'm talking about that and my plans in regard to that, I can talk very quickly a little bit about my acquisitions, because I'm actually done with my knitty bits. So if you're not interested in acquisitions, then you know, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next time. But if you do like acquisitions, then, you know, stay along. I have a little bit, not a huge amount, but I do have a little bit. Since I'm talking about Viola, I will mention her book. This is what I went to visit her store for, because I wanted to have a look in the book. I do have, I think, most of her books, if not all of the books, and I wanted to make sure that there was some new designs in this book that I didn't have in other books, so it wouldn't be just a repetition of the other books, because she does tend to take some of her most favorite designs and carry them through to a new book or a different book, which is like lovely. And she was like so sweet and left me a little like hello in my book when I was in her store. And in this book, I have looked on a couple of designs that really inspire me. One of them is this one, which I think is really pretty. And I know it's not a new design by any means. It's called Agnes. There's another one. There's a better picture maybe. And I have considered maybe using some borders from that for the yoke of my Judith sweater, or like cardigan I mean. but I haven't quite landed on that yet. She also has this one. I know a lot of people have knitted, which is Runtidalen, which is a very classical design, but she's put it into a round yoke for those who like that. But I quite liked as well the fade that she has done in this book. It doesn't really show very well in the pictures, I find, but I like, maybe you can see it better here. There's some really nice like color changes. She's using different, or like the same color in different yeah, lights and darks in the same color. So there's quite a few designs that I really enjoy, and some of them, like I said, I have in another book or two, but some of them definitely not, and I have considered buying them as single patterns, so this was like a better investment in that sense. These are also something that I've been considering making. She does have them in another book as well. I have already looked them up. I've been thinking about making them, because this is like perfect for using those little nuggets of yarns, leftovers from different projects. So yeah, there's quite a few projects or like patterns in here that I have been considering buying from her page, but I have not done yet. So if you don't have any of her books, but you do like her designs, there's quite a few really pretty designs in here. So I would recommend this book. I think her pattern's about 100 kroners per pattern on her webpage. So now I suddenly can't remember how much I paid for the book, but you get quite a lot of value in this book. You get many more than, like, it's not only, say if it's a book is 400, like if there was 4 designs in, no, there's a lot of value in the book. I think I'm gonna stop talking about it because I'm not able to say what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of patterns there. You get more patterns if you buy them in the book than if you buy them separately. I also bought myself a project bag since last. When I was in Kvella, I bought this bag here. This is by Søm og Sånt. They have a workshop kind of shop next to Garnhaugen in the same building. They actually have like a connecting door between those two shops. So when they have knit nights, then that door is open, so you can go back and forth between the sewing Søm og Sånt with them and the sewing and then the knitting bit with Garnhaugen. I really like it. It's like I saw it on Facebook where they announced it, and I just fell in love with it, and I loved it even more when I saw it in person. I like the kind of the nature vibe of it. You have the beautiful flowers in it, and then you have that beautiful fabric in there, which kind of like feels so, I don't know, earthy, lovely. And I mean, usually I love plain like light colors to be the interfacing. Oh my god, I like when the bags are lights inside so you can see what's in there. But I love this birch fabric. I think it's so pretty. Yeah, the nature feeling of this bag was just, in my eyes, absolutely divine, beautiful. They have a lot of beautiful designs. So if you're somewhere in the area, check it out. I know they have a page on Facebook, which is Søm og Sånt. Check out there. I know they put up things there once in a while as well. This is my second bag from them. I do also have this one here, which I've raved about and I still love a lot. Both the same size, aren't they? Yeah, I love this size. Like, this is the perfect for a shawl or sock. And I've been having my autumn socks and my autumn shawl in there. But since they're done, I'm showing them this one now separately. Also, when I was at Garnfena last, I did purchase another ball of plum. And the reason why is this is the exact colorway that I'm using my pocket follow posy blanket. And they had this 40% off because this is like the last one they had of this lot. And for me, it doesn't really matter if it is lot or that lot, because in the end, this is going into the blanket, and I'm just happy to have enough of this. And I also bought another skein of lollipop from them, because I do have another one from them before. And I'm not 100% decided on what I make out of it, but now at least I know that I have enough to make a lento, for example, which I do not remember the designer of, but that is a sweater I have thought about making, because it's like a brilliant pattern to utilize. You know, maybe you have 2 skeins of yarn, and you know, it's just with the big gauge and the way it's designed, top down, I think it's top down, correct me if I'm wrong, you can make this last kind of thing. 1 is too little, 2 you can make things happen. You know, I got a sorel out of 2 skeins. I'm super happy with. So that was Garnfena. I did like, yeah, this one is also my a new acquisition from Garnfena, and this is for a particular pattern plan that I have. Should I talk about it very quickly? I can do that. It's gonna be crinkled because I didn't plan this. I have had this beautiful pale pink in my stash for a little while now by Ull Design. I have used some of it, but I still have like about 170 grams of this pale pink, and I was kind of like wondering how I should make it work without buying too much extra, or like, you know, how can I make this work? How can I make it into something beautiful? And what I have landed upon is that I'm gonna make a 2-tone boyfriend sweater. Yeah, there's nothing, it's just instructions for it, but there's no pattern. Nothing like very special or anything, but I just liked it because it's a bit of an oversized, very simple sweater. It has some quite nice shoulder details, which I do like. And it is top down, which is brilliant, and it is in my book by Lena Holme Samsø, the Heather Hill. And I'm trying to be good also by using patterns that I have already, and not necessarily buy everything new. But yeah, back to my plan. My plan is, because I did add some yarn to it, but not a lot. The plan is to work it top down, and this is gonna be my main color, which is this pale pink, and I'm gonna add the white lace lamé, which is kind of like it's not a bleached one, it's nature white, what do you call it, natural white kind of thing, and it has this golden stellina in there. Like I said, I fell in love with this yarn when I saw it, when working with it. It was just like the fabric it was getting, it was just amazing. So at first I was thinking of trying to find a pink one. I didn't find a matching pink one. I was like considering a dark pink one, which I did not like in this series. It's more like antique dark rose kind of color. But in my mind, I had already made up my mind that I wanted to, this is gonna be the body, and then the end of the sleeves and the body is gonna be in this sort of off-white. That's the word, off-white. I keep on calling it natural, but it's called off-white. Jesus Christ. This off-white Arvetta 101 is gonna be at the end of the body and at the end of the sleeves. And this way I get to use up this beautiful, beautiful yarn by Ull Design. And I add up on a little bit of Arvetta and make it kind of, I bind it together with that white. I think it's gonna be beautiful because this one is gonna soften the pink and that way make it match more with this off-white white. And yeah, I get to have a beautiful sweater. I'm kind of really looking forward to this. So yeah, this is gonna be on my needles in not long. I'm quite sure of that. So a little bit of accusation to use up some of my beautiful yarn without adding a whole lot, because I did try to look for maybe a matching pink, which was harder because the closest I got with the Arvetta was the ballerina pink, and that's quite a bit darker and I didn't want that. And I think by that time I already had made up my mind, or in my mind's eye I saw a version where it kind of melted into white tips in yeah, like in the sleeves and in the body. So that is my plan. And then we're going back to Fabrikstad and Stitchorama. Oh, now things are starting to fall down here because I've been piling things to get room for everything. As I mentioned to you before, I bought some yarns from Strikk, and this is gonna be, I guess, advertisement ad, because she did end up gifting me a skein as well. Yes, it is in the same beautiful Love Actually colorway. I absolutely love and adore this. I think it's so beautiful. Super soft. I'm super surprised, but actually not surprised because this is BFL Silky Sport. So this is sport weight, and it has 60% superwash blue face Leicester, 20% nylon and 20% silk. So this is also super soft and super lovely. I will have to see what I make out of it. I do like the color of it, in the sense that I don't mind having it to my face. Maybe gonna have to make a hat out of this to make it match with my scarf. There's a plan. But yeah, this was a gift to me. Super lovely. Really love it. It feels very bouncy. So I'm really looking forward to trying out this base. I have not tried her Silky Sport base before, so this is gonna be interesting. And also I got this bag from her, the knitting bag, Strikk. There's her shop name. And I must say, she has released a Anna Olava sweater pattern, and you know, I got to meet Elisabeth when we were there. I got to give her a hug, which I'm very happy for. And she was wearing hers, and it was silky smooth, beautiful, wonderful. So if you can wear alpaca, I can absolutely recommend the base, because it was just like, it was butter. It was so soft and it was so lovely. I did try it, like put it up to my face, because she did say that some other people who are sensitive to alpacas usually can wear it or can use it without getting any reactions. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those lucky people. Otherwise, that would have come home with me, because I mean, it was super soft, super delicious, that yarn. If you can work with alpaca, that is something I can absolutely recommend. I don't remember the base of it on the top of my head, but I think it's Angel. Is it Strikk Angel that you have there? I'm gonna have to look it up and write a note if that's incorrect. But while I was there, I did end up at Rauma, and I did purchase some Finul yarn as well. and this is the colorway 4130, and I do have enough for like a color work sweater quantity. And I mean, I had no plans of buying fenule because that's something is super readily available in Oslo for me, and I don't really need to do that. But they had a super good offer on the yarn on that festival. I think it was 40% off, if I'm not incorrect. Or was it? No. It was 40 kroners per ball of yarn, and usually it costs 55 kroners for a ball. So it was 15 kroners discount. That's quite substantial. I mean, that adds up to quite a bit of money. So I ended up grabbing 6 balls of it so that I can make something pretty out of it. I do have a plan, but I'll come back to it when that happens. And the last acquisition, I think it is the last. Yeah, I'll take this one as a last thing. Is this skein of yarn? I think it was by Toten yarn. I can't really. It's kind of taped together so that I can't really tell. Yeah, it says underneath. I'm gonna have to open this up. It is Toten ull. Don't focus on me. There. And I think the base is very close to fenule. It's 50 grams to 92 meters. What happened to my voice there? 92 meters. No, it's a bit thicker then. But I was kind of like going back and forth thinking like, which color should I take? Because I have filled up my box of like pure wool quite a bit now due to the knit along that I was supposed to be participating in the summer. So I just took one little skein just to try it out. Haven't got a plan with it, but I figure it out. It's really, really nice. It's really soft. I mean, it has the toothiness of woolly wool on it, but I think it's kind of, I like wool, like woolly wool. It reminds me very much of fenule, I guess. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. I'm not sure what I'll make out of it. Maybe mittens, half mittens. I'll see what I can make out of it. Very pretty color. It's almost true to color what you see on screen, but I would say it's a little less bright than what it is on the screen. Hard to describe. It has more, from what I'm seeing, it has a little, in this light, it has a little bit of like a greenish color, like tone to it, but it is blue. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. It's gonna be a new acquaintance for me. So I think that is enough for today. For sure. Tomorrow I will be going to the knitting festival here in Oslo at Sentralen. And this video is probably not going to be up by the time, but maybe. So I'm looking forward to going there and seeing what they have to offer. It's going to be a new location this time, which I'm really happy for, as it used to be at Kulturhuset, or like a culture house before, and they pretty much outgrew that space a long time ago. And I also always been struggling with the light in there. I find it to be too dark for a knitting festival, because you couldn't really tell the colors, or like what the color was like. It was too dark for it, and it just tended to get very crammed very quickly, which is good. Means there's a lot of people going there enjoying the vendors, the small makers, and that's all good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to the new location and seeing how that is like. I'd actually not been to that space before, that house. I haven't been to Centralen before, but it's really readily available. I was gonna say it's in downtown Oslo. It's very easy to get to, so I'm looking forward to that very much. Yeah, I try to do my best to enjoy life every day to the best of my ability, to follow the bliss, as they say, and yeah, enjoy being creative, enjoy creating. Yeah, my mind just went blank. I feel like I just want to say, like, enjoy what you do, enjoy creating. I know we are now heading towards Christmas season, and I guess most of us are still quite relaxed and lean back when it comes to knitting for Christmas. And then we hit November and we suddenly start like knitting rigorously so we can get things done by Christmas. And hopefully you're good at planning ahead and start knitting gifts already now, so you get to enjoy the process of knitting those items and not stressing too much, getting high shoulders, and you know how that goes. So I hope life is good, and I hope you come back another time when I sit down here to share my love of knitting, my love of creating with you. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure when you come over and say hello. And as I said last time, I'm probably gonna be awkward because I'm not super great with new encounters, but I love them because that's often the beginning of a new friendship or acquaintanceship or whatever it is. You know, life is beautiful for us creators, isn't it? All less to say, I wish you a happy knitting autumn still, and let's hope snow doesn't come that quickly this year. But hey, if it does, we are all ready, aren't we? With all the knitted goods. Anyway, thank you for today, and bye bye!